husband wrote IELTS 4 times. So we had booked our flights even before we got visa. So this is COPR. Sure, you can see it. Your medicals can only last a year in the system. Dollar was still hovering around 300 and something. And I remember paying with my dollar card. When we were going to submit our visa, we did it in South Africa. We did it in Pretoria. Nigeria visa system is just somehow. Guy, we go collect this visa. Like, my husband really worked out on this. And hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. My name is Adeshola, but my friends call me Spense Money. I don't know why they call me that, but I mean, I'm claiming all the money and I want to have all the money. They also call me Spence No Limit. I don't know. I have like crazy set of friends. The few ones I have are quite crazy. Yeah, so anyway, today I'm gonna be talking about my Canada PR journey. This is long overdue, and unfortunately I may not be as accurate, especially with the date, because it's been like almost 6 months that we got here. So there's a possibility or a probability that I'm gonna miss out on some of the most important dates, but I'm gonna try as much as possible to give you the most detailed information that I can remember, if that makes sense. So let's get right into the video. Anyway, so just to take it from the very beginning, my husband had been in the pool since like 2019. Before we got married, before we even started dating. Was it 2019? Before we started dating back, because my husband is someone I had dated in the past. Okay, yeah. So I like to put that out there because it's not easy to date somebody that you've dated. I'm crazy, I know. Yeah. So basically, he had been in the pool for a very long time, and for me, I feel like God just works in a mysterious way, because I remember when I graduated fresh off school, fresh off university that year, 2016, I wanted to come to Canada, and I went to Canada Visa's office back in Lekki. Every time I pass in front of that office, I'm like, especially when the old Canada thing had, it was so clear that we were going to get a visa. I remember I passed in front of the office and I was like, I'm really thankful that, I got here. Do you get? Back then, I feel like there were not a lot of resources for me to explore. And every time I say this to my husband, he would typically say, the information that I needed was on the internet. I just didn't check. And I agree. And I feel like a lot of the things I'm going to share in this video, you would typically need to do your research on Google. Because then again, they keep updating this information. So what worked for me or what worked for us back then would probably not work for you again. And because, Canada changes their policy almost every single day. So fresh information is out there and you just have to check and keep yourself updated. This video, this is not an advice. This is just what worked for me. So what worked for me may or may not work for you. And, there's this word people say. I'm not a travel agent or anything. Like I said, he had been in the pool for a very long time. And my husband has a doctorate degree, how did they say it? So that kind of like gave us an advantage, because then it has like a whole lot of working experience. He's a doctor, so he has like the highest level of education, and at the time he entered, age was still on his side. Now my husband is 30. How old am I? My husband is 33 this year, I believe. 33 or 32? 33. Yeah, this year. So as at when he entered like 5-6 years ago, I think it was still under the age of 20 something. Under like 28, something like that, yeah. So age was on his time. But prior to COVID, and he studied like English and communication science in school. So he has like a good command of English. He's able to speak well, assimilate properly. So pertaining the IELTS part, he was able to do well. Back then he had like I can't really remember what it's called. It's called where back then, but he had like something very close to like the highest score. But after using the CRA calculator, which I'm gonna try to leave in the description box, he was still able to have like a reasonable amount of points. Like, it was crazy. But pre-COVID, it was there pre-COVID anyway. But COVID came and then they stopped the whole PR thing, right? So it was in the pool, and I think after COVID, when they started back, it was already 30. So, and with the way the CRA thing works is that when you're 30, your point drops by 5. So when you're 30 and let's say your point is on 480, when you're 31, you get, oh, I think when you become 30, your point now drops to 475. When you become 31, it drops to 470. So his point started dropping when he became 30. So he started dropping and he started losing a lot of points. So I think before we were finally able to, do the whole thing, he had lost about 15 points. And also remember that your IELTS would typically expire after two years. He also had to do like another PR. Now I'm putting my husband's story up front because he's like the major applicant. So if you want to do like the PR thing, first of all, you need to do the IELTS exam. You need to write the IELTS exam, and you need to have like a very high score for you to be able to compete with many other people. Now I know that there are provincial nominations, but we didn't go through that route. What majorly helped us was the fact that my husband has a doctorate degree. He has like several work experience. Age was still on the side back then, but after COVID, just like I was saying, the points are dropped, and as at that time we were not married, but we were already in like a relationship after COVID when the old distance when we started, right? So while he was still in the pool, he was contemplating if he needed to have me. At that time, I had not given birth, so we were not even thinking of having me. But sometimes when we think about it, we look at the point, and the minute you add somebody to your CRA, to your, I don't know what they call that thing, to your profile, yeah, the point drops because it means I am a dependent on you. However, I have a master's degree and age still in my side. Do you get? So master degree, age still in my side, and I had to take IELTS. So for my husband, when we started doing this thing again back, I think, was it last year? We got our visa sometimes last year in November. But when we started this thing back fully, we started like 2 years ago. So that was like 2022. And then we're weighing all our options. In fact, my husband was already thinking of me coming to Canada as a student. But I was like, you know what? I don't think I have the brain to read again. Considering that we're going to spend a lot of money, I don't want the pressure to be on me. We're spending 20 million on school. And it's not like, the money was readily available like that. We basically would have to like source for the money. So I was like, I don't think I want to handle all of those pressure. We were thinking of several opportunities, even applied to UK. There's this UK global talent visa. So we have like the global talent visa for like 3 or 5 years where we can go work. The only difference with UK is that, they don't give you the citizenship. They don't like, compared to this place, you need to live there for like 10 years and, cost of living. So we're weighing our options back and forth. Yeah. I'm just kind of like giving you a backstory. So he did the IELTS. As at 2022, he had to take the IELTS early last year. My husband wrote IELTS 4 times because he wanted the highest. Like when I say the highest, he wanted the highest band score. Like 9 for listening, 8 for writing, 8 for this, 8 for... He wanted the highest. So every time he took the test, it's either he has 8.5 in listening, then 888, or it has 8.0 in listening, then 8.5, then 7. You understand? Stuff like that. So he wrote the test like 3 or 4 times for him to get the highest this thing. So, every time before he leaves, he'll predict, okay, so what am I going to get? Then, we impute it into the system. He tries it, and then it sees like the score. We're able to tell like the average. And as at that time, we now started also considering adding me and adding Amir so that, we would all go at the same time. The most important thing we did back then was keeping ourselves updated with the information. And my husband, I'm not even going to lie to you, my husband did like most of the thing. I'm naturally not a good reader, and I don't know how to assimilate a lot of information, especially when they are written in words. I take my time. So he's able to process them faster and explain things to me like, babe, this is what is going on. This is what we have to do. So at the points that we wanted to be added to the profile, I needed to take IELTS, and I remember that he had to get me like a teacher that came home, taught me, and I didn't get like the highest score, but I think I had 8.0 in listening, 7.77, and one like 6.5. So because I did that and I have a master's degree, its points didn't really drop. Just it dropped by 1 point. Do you get? But that was him putting in a lot of work by scoring the highest points it could possibly get in, and I also did IELTS, added my master's degree, and the work experience. So that was like the first important thing. So you need to create a profile, make sure you have your IELTS, consider your age, factor in your dependents. If you are married, your point is going to drop. But if you are applying as a single person, then you are probably still very good to go. So I wanted to check. I made sure to ask my husband to send me like some of the things that we did. So another thing we did was West evaluation, right? But I had already done that way before, like when I was still really interested in coming to Canada. I'd done that, and I remember the year I did it was 85,000 naira. It was a lot of money. Don't even get me wrong. Dollar was still hovering around 300 and something, and I remember paying with my dollar card, but I ended up paying about 85,000 naira. I remember vividly. Yeah. So we did our West evaluation. You would ideally need this, whether you have a master's, a doctorate, or even regular degree like the BSc. So then we also did IELTS, which I talked about. Then we got into the express entry pool waiting for ITA, which is, what is ITA called? Invitation to apply. Yeah, sorry, I've forgotten all of these things. So it was already in the express entry pool, and then he added us. All of those links will be in the description box. And then he added us. He added Amir, and for that I had to change. Actually, I didn't want to change my surname to his surname, but since we wanted to, we just wanted to make everything a lot smoother. He had been in the pool for a very long time. So we didn't just want to waste his time. So I had to do another passport. And also because I wanted to change my passport to like the 10-year validity stuff. So I had to just change my name. So I had to change my name. Then we used our marriage certificate, the court one. Then I did change of name, did all of those things to be used. Then, get into the express entry pool, and we waited for the invitation to apply. So after invitation to apply, you prepare for the necessary documentation and wait for confirmation of permanent residency. Meanwhile, we had also done like the medicals. I and Amir went to Ikeja to do medicals, but because he lives in South Africa, he did all of his own stuff there in South Africa. But when we were going to apply for something, when we were going to do, what did we get? When we were going to submit our visa, we did it in South Africa. We did it in Pretoria. So at that time we were in Pretoria, and it was just an opportunity for us to go to submit our visa. So our visa, I think I have my passport here. Our visa, I think they issued it in Pretoria. Yeah. Let me check. Yeah, they issued the visa in Pretoria, right? Okay, my name is going to show. Sorry, I can't do that. We decided to submit it there because it was a lot faster. Nigeria visa system is just somehow. So, like, we didn't even want to waste time. And me, I wanted to be with my husband as soon as I could. Do you understand? So we were just on our A game, making sure that we're doing things at the right time. And by the time they invited us, they gave us the invitation to apply. We also prepared for the necessary documentations that were needed, and we also paid, I can't remember, but it was like, I remember my husband said it was like almost 3 million naira for something. So I think for the visa or something. But all of these things you can do by yourself. The funniest thing is that with PR, you don't necessarily need an agent. In fact, I feel like, mostly with PR, because we like study and other things, you'll probably need someone. You probably need like a statement of purpose, and if you're not very good with that as well, they could, decline. So after that, we just prepared for everything. We sent it to them, and we also needed to wait. So when you get to the payment method, at that point, we were trying to pay. I tried my card. My husband tried his card. We tried different cards. It didn't work. We had to use someone's card in Canada. Do you get? So if you ever get to that stage and you get stuck, just know that you need to reach out to someone in Canada who you can trust and can trust you, because it's either you share your your password, your Canada password, your profile password with them, and they make the payment, or the person sends you their card details. So it goes both ways, right? And then they can help you pay. After that, we just basically waited for our COPR, which is the confirmation of permanent residence. So when they sent this visa, they sent it alongside with it. Funny how they had finished processing our visa around November, and me and my husband, because we had gotten to a stage where we felt like, what, guy, we go collect this visa. Like, my husband really, really, really worked out on this, and I'm super grateful and thankful to him, to be honest, because the fact that I'm able to raise my child outside of Nigeria gives me like peace. It gives me peace of mind, to be honest. So I'm really, really thankful. I'm really grateful to you guys. And I mean, so we had already gotten to a stage where we felt like we were gonna get visa. So we had booked our flights even before we got visa. Let me tell you something. We had booked the flight. We booked our flight for April 11 blindly. Like, there was nothing backing up that date. We just booked the visa for April because we wanted to travel in April. Do you understand? So I mean, and when the visa came, they sent it with confirmation of COPR. Funny how I didn't plan for this to be here, but let me show you what it looks like. So they will send your COPR, and you just have it. Let me see. I don't want to share any detailed any information, but I mean, I don't even need this again since I already have my PR card. But this is going to come alongside with your visa and everything. So this is COPR. Sure, you can see it. Confirmation of permanent residence rather. So it will come with this. So this is what you will use at the immigration center when you arrive. So all of those things, when we got to Canada, we just had to bring this out. Then it also came with another paper. Okay, no, just this one, but their own copy, our own copy. And then we submitted our visa, our passports. They just checked through and they cancelled out the visa because the validity was for April 20 something. So talking about that, we had, I said that we had already booked our flight. We calculated everything. So my husband had calculated that your medicals can only last a year in the system. And we did our medicals sometimes in May, I remember. So when we were going to choose April, my husband was like, okay, anytime our visa comes out, it's going to come out before April because your medical can only last 1 year in the system. So we calculated that, okay, April, it's like, there is no reason why our passports should still be done by April. Meanwhile, it was even already out before like, they didn't send any notification. You have to write to them. So he had already calculated it. That was one of the reasons why we chose April. So when the visa came, right, the validity, it was going to end on the let me see, 20 something. Yeah, it was going to expire on the 25th of April. I think, yeah, our medical was also on the 25th. Yeah. So like I said, everything, you just have to, be updated. You just have to make sure to do your research and know what is currently happening. That way, I feel like you get like up-to-date information, because really, YouTubers just makes this kind of videos to, I don't want to say to make money off you, except for people who are really in the immigration system. And trust me, I don't think any Nigerian would be in the immigration system that will have first-hand news or first-hand knowledge about what is happening in the Canadian system. Do you understand? So basically what I'll leave you with in this video is that you need to learn how to do your research with stuff like this. You need to be sure of what you are getting into. Do your research. Know what, if you're going for study, research on schools. Now, if you want to go for study, I know that if you want to come to study here in Canada now, and you want to come and do degrees, you want to come to colleges, you won't be able to bring your partner in again. You need to do like a master's or a PhD to be able to bring in your partner. Now, that is the current policy. Do you understand? I have a friend who already had like a BSc in Nigeria, but because she didn't know a lot of these things as well, she came here and she came she's in a college, something like that, when she could have just done masters and pay relatively the same amount of money that she paid for being in the college. Do you understand? So you need to update yourself and be sure of what you want to do before actually doing it. I feel like I've covered everything. I'm gonna leave the eligibility this thing. So on the website, you can see everything you need to know, the minimum requirements, everything, whether you want to come in. Now they have like other requirements. They have like, provincial nominations, which you can also do. Do you understand? So they are even doing, there's this thing they are currently doing now that is called skilled something something. They also have one for personal support work, something like that. Most importantly, do your research. I'm not going to lie to you and try to get views and rack in subscribers from this video. I just want you to know that if you can come here, make sure you try your best. If you feel like you have all the resources, except for people who don't want to leave Nigeria, but if you feel like you want to leave Nigeria, you want to come here, I assure you that this country is not very bad, it's not very good either. It's not bad, it's not good, it's just in between. And I'm thankful for all the opportunities and all the resources that Canada is able to give me. Truthfully, I've been able to, in this past couple of months, we've been here for like 5 months plus, almost 6 months. And to be honest, I have been the sanest, I promise you. However, it's been like very boring. You don't have your friends here and everybody. So I feel like I've covered everything. If you have any question, you can let me know in the comment section. I'm gonna try as much as possible to respond to every comment I get, or better still, make a video if there is anything by chance that I didn't cover. I can try to make another video for you guys so that we cover them up. Hopefully from here on, I'm going to be able to keep up with my uploads. Now, this channel is not going to be an immigration channel where I'm gonna say, you get. So it's just a chill channel, vlogs about me, my lifestyle, and every other thing in between. So thank you very much for watching this video. I love you, and I'm going to see you in my next one.